Major podcast blowing up, yeah, it's all that. Got the hottest guests for success, you can say less. Major on the mission, biggest pod on the top chart. Vision and ambitions, I'm so focused, do the hard work. Thank you for subscribing, doing it really for the people. Lamborghini taste, praying daily make you lethal. You can make it big, God protect me from the evil. Lion of the jungle, Christ disciple, yeah, you heard that. Lion of the jungle, Christ disciple, yeah, you heard that. Major big step of fly kicks by the whole rack. Another guest about the book, another guest.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Major Williams here with the Majoration Podcast, where we talk about all things inspirational, aspirational, and motivational. Today, I have another amazing guest. I have Shannon, which is one of the founders of Empire Motors. Today, we're going to dive deep into his mind in regards to how do you create a business, how do you run and build an empire, and what type of mentality do you have to be successful. So without further ado, Shannon, welcome to the Majoration Podcast, brother.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. So first of all, this is the perfect day for this.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather.
When we pulled up, the first thing we saw, of course, was the Mercedes, poking out in a parking lot. I want to ask you, though, when it comes to the fleet, were you very specific about wanting Mercedes or other brands or what?
Very specific.
Okay.
I'm kind of the mindset, if you're going to do it big.
Yeah.
So, Mercedes already has the name. It already carries the luxury, brand with it. So, when I'm thinking of a Sprinter van, there was no
right. I'm going top tier.
Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. Got to do it.
So give me a rundown, kind of like the beginning of it in regards to how this all manifested. We most recently met at a brunch at the Wine Ranch, which is where we are situated today, at a beautiful location. And you guys had all the fleets out, all the trucks and all the excitement and that's people right. taking photos, supporting what you guys are doing. But that's the glitz and glamour of it. Like, just kind of walk me behind the scenes of the thought process of how we got to this particular point.
It's kind of wild. There's been kind of a build-up to it in a way, and then kind of all parts kind of just gravitated to the nucleus.
Yeah.
It started with getting into the rental game. So I was in the rentals before, and a buddy of mine who was in Vegas was like, "Hey, if you get a Sprinter vans have the quickest return on investment." And so I'm all about what's the quickest return. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. So, what we need to do? He was like, well, if you get a van, you should send it down here and then I'll manage it and just cut you a check.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, easy peasy. You know what I mean? For me, that's cool. Residual, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And I can continue to move on. So I had already went and grabbed one. And so I was at I think it was a Christmas party that, one of my guys, their family was doing, two of my bros. So we're there and we're just talking. I'm sitting at the table, and then he had, overheard me mentioning Sprinter van.
Yeah. And
so that was Mike. So Mike was like, wait a minute, bro, like you don't have to send it. So I'm talking to, both twins.
Right.
And so I'm talking to Devin and Pops about it. And so Mike over here is when I'm in the kitchen. He's like, wait a minute. He's like, so you're going to send it to Vegas? He's like, oh, bro, you don't even have to do that. We could do all of that here.
Right.
And then I was like, he was like, yeah. He's like, what? Like, there's so many things that, could be done out of that.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. Like, well, let's like sit down and let's like chop it up. Let me see. And so from there, we talked, and then it just made more sense to, keep it in-house.
Yeah.
And so I was like, hey, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do this together then. You know what I'm saying? Let's all put our resources together, put our minds together, and let's like make this happen.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And I nixed the deal in Vegas, and I was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We could do it. You know what I'm saying? It's always, it's fun when you can, keep the family involved.
Right, for sure.
And so that's what we did. And we've just been, rocking and rolling, moving ever since.
And I think that leads to my next question. One of the great attributes that I admired about you guys and your whole nucleus is that it feels like it's a family supportive environment, right?
Yeah.
And someone like myself, I get envious because I'm from Dallas, Texas. My whole family's in Texas, right?
Right.
So when I do something, I got to build momentum to get support for certain things, right? And it seems like that, you had a kind of like a embedded community, so to speak, to kind of bounce support and ideas off of, which we know family don't always jump on board to support your dream
Yeah,
and everything as well.
definitely.
But how has that been to be able to be where you guys are now and just kind of see families excited for you, support? So everyone, real quick, I wanted to just share the amazing work that the Majoration Podcast is
Whatever
doing.
that
We're
is.
already getting so many great testimonials because of the guests that we've had on and the stories that they've shared and their actual testimonies about their success and their journey. And that journey and their successes are helping other people fulfill their missions in life. And that's super important. And that's the point and purpose of the Majoration Podcast. We talk about all things inspirational, aspirational, and motivational. And now we are expanding our reach and saying, hey, if you have a personal brand, if you have a business, if you have a service, and you would like to advertise on the Majoration Podcast, feel free to reach out to us at the Majoration Podcast at gmail.com or send me a DM or jump in the comments and we will follow back up with you. We have pre-roll, we have post-roll, we have also sponsored advertisements that are available. Reach out to us now. Get your opportunity to be seen by so many people with so many influential speakers on this podcast.
I would say with any business, it doesn't come without, its challenges.
Right.
I think that's even relevant, whether it's friends, family, or strangers. I think sometimes as strangers, it may be a little easier because there's an automatic understanding that it's business.
Right. They understand the transaction.
They understand the transaction of it, and it stays in that space.
Right.
Now, if you develop a relationship outside of that, cool.
Right.
Friends and family is a little different because you have to first get through those pitfalls of understanding how each other move in that space. And then, lining up to where the vision is shared and then moving forward from that standpoint.
Yeah.
I think it starts with a lot of communication. You have to have a lot of communication, a lot of dialogue, a lot of dialogue, and a lot of grace.
Yeah.
Because it's family, you know what I mean? So I think, family is always contentious.
Right, for sure.
You know what I mean? And so, but it's nothing beats when you're able to do it with the people that you care about.
No, that's true. There's a broad conversation that I've been a part of, and I kind of want to dive into it with you. Like AI is coming on board. Automation, robots, and the usage of Chat GPT, and people are excited about it. People are afraid of it.
Yeah.
What's kind of your thought process on that? And is that something that you feel like you guys will be adopting as well with your business?
Absolutely. You can't. Technology is here. Whether you want to say technology is good or it's bad, it's already here. I think it's just how you take advantage of it while it's here and how you use it. So one of our resources, one of our guys, I was just talking to him about digital marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then he said, he was like, yeah, are you familiar with, AI and all that stuff? I'm like, yeah. He's like, but as it relates to business. And I'm like, no, outside of asking questions, no. And so the automation aspect where, it can be used to automate certain functions makes a whole lot of sense, especially for an entrepreneur when you're one gig, your one hustle, your one stream of income isn't the only one.
Right.
So it's smart to be able to automate that so that you can move on it, move to something else. And that's the same for this. We want to get it to a certain place, have it automated, and then it's going to run on its own. And then we can divert our attention to the things that we want to do. And, we're all about fun in the sun, all the things that we want to do. We want to actually spend time doing, those are the things that we want to quickly get to. And so, for sure. That is 100% in the works.
Yeah. So we've been talking about that a lot lately. I did a workshop actually here at the Wine Ranch a few months ago, just talking about the importance of AI and how to incorporate it in a useful way. Right. And I think a lot of business owners have an opportunity to really leverage this with their businesses in a way like never before. because, a lot of people do a lot of busy work,
Right.
it's just even like with the emails and replies and
Yeah.
responses on
Yeah.
Instagram. So if you follow me, you'll instantly get a text,
Mm-hmm.
in your DM,
Mm-hmm.
and I do it to make it feel authentic, so it doesn't happen instantly. I might wait a day. I might have a trigger on it though.
Right.
And the next day it sends you a thing, tells you about my book or my upcoming workshop. Right. So all those different things is like, we don't have to manually do it, but
Yes.
a percentage of it, if you send it to 100 people and 2 people come on board for something, then that's that residual, participation that you were talking about, right?
Yeah. There's a way it's kind of a way of filtering robocalls from actual calls. So if you're out there and you actually call, when you call Empire Motors, you're going to get an email. I mean, not an email, you're going to get a text message. And in the text message, it's just a welcoming message and saying, hey, you can go and check out the website.
Yeah.
We got your information. Someone's going to be following up.
Yeah.
Just in case they we're on another call or fulfilling another booking or something like that. So as we're getting to it, they've already had that first touch. So they're not like, oh, no one was there. And there's whereas if it's a robocall, I can immediately see that, it's not somebody that can receive a text message anyway. So either they're calling from like the job or it's a robocall.
Yeah. That's wild. So what kind of calls do you guys get? Talking about calls, like what kind of calls do you get now? Like, is it for weddings? Is it for parties? Or is it just like all inclusive, just transportation?
So we have our specific markets that we're going to be targeting. Right now, it's kind of a little generic in a sense.
Okay.
It's still within our market space, but for now, it's like, music industry, weddings, prom. And I think those have been, I think we have a concert coming up. Someone, is inquiring about that. So for now, those have been predominantly the calls that we're getting as far as service goes.
Yeah. So how's it been with the truck? So it's shiny. It looks cool. It's a Mercedes.
Yeah.
But it's upkeep that comes along with it also.
Oh, right? Definitely.
So at the beginning, did you guys kind of factor those things into your budget, into the ideal of what you were coming into?
Well, having run businesses before, absolutely.
Okay.
I already knew, I had already done my research before I even grabbed the van. I already know that what the maintenance looks like, what to do to prevent high maintenance costs, what to do to keep it, running the way that it needs to. So I knew all of that off jump.
And a lot of people don't know if you do the maintenance correctly, you can avoid so much
damage later.
Yeah.
So absolutely. So I'm all about the research. I'm the systems guy. I'm behind the scenes making sure that everything is running the way that it should.
Yeah.
And, paperwork is done correctly.
Yeah.
And, just so that, we can have the longevity that we want at the same time that, when we, depending on the different clientele that comes in, they'll see like, okay, they're A1. They have things, they're legit. Everything is lined up the way that it should be.
So when it comes to customer feedback, real quick, guys, make sure to ask Amanda for the Shirley Temples. Y'all can go and come back. So when it comes to like customer service and feedback, do you guys take advantage of that feedback that comes in as far as getting better and just listening to?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
We had we were doing a promo, and we had some guests in the van, and one of them, I think Devin had asked. Devin's one of my partners too. He asked. He was like, if we want some feedback. How's everything? This and that. Don't hold back. Let us know. You can be critical. And she gave some good points, some solid points. And as soon as we heard him, we was like, and we're gonna take that, like, for sure. And and then we're sitting here talking, and then his mom's had the same critique, and we were like, oh, 2 for 2. Like, okay, so that's golden. So not going to tell you guys what it is, but you'll just experience it.
You're going to feel the improvement.
You're going to see it. You're going to experience it when we have it. And we're like, oh, absolutely, we have to have that.
Yeah.
So that is going to be implemented coming soon for sure.
What's up, listener? You're here because you want to be motivated to take your life to the next level. Well, sometimes hard work isn't the answer, and what is the answer is a fresh perspective. And you can get that by picking up my book, Perspective, Rewire Your Brain for Success and Abundance, online. It's a quick read, and it'll get to the root cause of why you might be stuck where you are, and it'll help you break through the glass
That's
ceiling
fantastic.
and reach
So in the evolution of creating
success.
businesses, obviously
Pick it
you
up
have
on
a
Amazon,
background in
wherever
creating
books are sold.
businesses and stuff like that, but do you still take those moments of appreciation to celebrate certain milestones and moments as a company?
Yeah, I think we need to do it more.
Yeah.
But we have those moments, those aha moments where, and it could be, it's usually like maybe after a detail or something like that. Uh, I know Mike and I have them all the time. We'll we'll be looking at the van,
Yeah.
and then he'll look at me, and I'll look, and I'm like, yeah, and we're like, yeah, remember when how we looked before, and then now when we look at the finished product, we just, we're looking at the front end and we're like, oh yeah,
Right.
and so it's surreal. So the three of us will sit back and we'll see like when we started, what everything kind of looked like. And even though we're not, and I think that's getting to your point, the celebration of the things, because it's a long journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't celebrate the little things, it makes the journey a little more rigorous, a little more tiresome, a little more like, you're looking at the top of the hill, like, man, that's a long way to go. But if you look at it in sections,
those small victories,
it's like, hey, man, you know what? We're not where we were, and we're still moving forward.
Right.
And so the goal is still in sight and we're still moving there.
Yeah.
It's just going, it's going to take some time, obviously, but, we're in it to win it. So
I love it. Man, I think just the ending of what you just said takes me to my next question. Like when it comes to entrepreneurship, those that are successful typically lean on a certain mindset and discipline and mentality. How important is that for you? And is what are one or two words that describes your discipline or your mentality?
I say the first one will be focus.
Okay.
Well, I would just say, let me rewind that. I would say faith and focus.
Amen.
I think if you're rooted in, because with faith comes a whole lot of other things attached to it.
Amen to that. Yeah.
Your moral, your belief system, your morals, all of those things come into play. But if you're not focused, and I think a lot of things come along with being focused too. Because if you're focused, then you're doing a whole lot of other discipline is along with that. Execution is along with that, because you're moving in that straight line. Right. But it's not, it's not always a straight line. Sometimes you end up going left, you go right.
Oh, for sure.
Everybody has their shortcomings. And I think that's the beauty of having a team, is that, when you, you can kind of pick up where someone drops off.
Right.
I can see like, okay,
you can lean on you for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna lean on you for this. Okay, you can lean on me for that. I'm gonna lean on you for this. I need you to handle this. Okay, I'll take care of that. So I think that's.
No, that's fantastic. Entrepreneurs that are thinking about just not even this particular business, but entrepreneurs in general, beyond just faith and focus, what are some of the landmines that they should watch out for when they are venturing into the entrepreneurial space?
Oh man, there's, I'll say it this way, because I don't like to try to blow smoke of anybody. You're not gonna avoid all the pitfalls. You're not gonna.
They build the character, right?
Yeah, build character for sure. You're not gonna avoid them. You just got to be prepared for them.
Right.
When they hit, it's not the end of the world. It's not. It's not blowing up your whole program. You just gotta, take a step back, evaluate what just took place, and then get back to it. I've lost so much money in being an entrepreneur. At the same time, I've made so much money as an entrepreneur. It's just, the desire and the will to keep moving forward, and to, start another thing. You know, the idea that you have may not be the idea that you're going to end up with. So, but that might be the idea that you start off with.
Right.
So you start off with it going on, and then that might crash and burn. But as it's burning, you might take a look up into the distance and then see, hey, that's what I actually want to do.
Right.
But you would never have gotten there if the plane didn't crash.
Right.
You know, so it's kind of catch-22 in a sense.
For sure.
Are you a cobbler?
Everyone's going to have an opinion about what you're doing. What you need to do is, trust your gut, because it's you that's going to be falling on the sword. Oh yeah, 100%.
First time he ever drew a shoe, it just must have took off in your brain because he just did not
He
stop.
did not stop with the shoe. The way that I think about creating a shoe, you need to experiment and sometimes try different things, especially when you are experimenting to create something that hasn't been done before.
No one has had this type of success from a shoe drop.
You can build anything, and you'll be surprised what you end up creating.
I read the story, or I heard the story about the guys who they were part of the PayPal mafia. It was like a group of guys who all started PayPal, but they all branched out, did their own thing. 3 of them created YouTube. But before YouTube, they created a dating app. It was a dating app for video. You get on there and say who you are, whatever, and it flopped.
Right.
0 people were interested in it. It was a major failure, but they just had this platform, and they were at a zoo or something and said, hey, here at the zoo, it was 18 seconds. And the video ended up getting 1 million views. And something went off, was like, maybe we should let everyone upload videos. And so every profile was able to upload videos, and that's how it happened. So what you just said was like spot on to truly how it happens, man. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. The last thing, like where can people find you guys, and how can they contact you on social or even the website?
The website is EmpireMotorsInc.com.
Okay.
So you can catch us on there. Our Instagram tag is EmpireMotors_Inc. So you can catch us on Instagram there. Outside of that, you can give us a call. That number will probably scroll on the bottom. Outside of that, man, we're trying to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of we have our local market, which is here in Winchester, Menifee, Marietta, Temecula. That's our local market. We're opening up San Diego. Shout out to my boy Billy. We're opening up, we're thinking about doing Arizona and Vegas as well, and Costa Mesa. And those would be as far as out as we really would go. But everything else is that, from inside out is kind of where we want to be.
So in having transportation services, what are some of the crazy things that have happened inside of your van that you guys was like, I didn't expect that?
Oh man. That is a good question. So what is,
because I've heard stories.
I've heard stories too,
That's not stories about your company, but I've heard stories overall with transportation.
Yeah, you put me on the spot on that one. Yeah, it's because anytime you're doing anything with public,
right?
You get
you get caught up in a good time.
Yeah, that too. You can just reach in and grab a bag of mixed nuts sometimes, and we just had some spirited dancers a few times. We've had just some real colorful people that have just been so excited to express themselves in different ways, and that's fine.
It comes along with the territory too.
Yeah, as long as the ride is paid for.
Right.
And
no slashes in my leather seat.
Right. Everyone is safe, and we're getting you to the destination and fulfilling, the needs of your booking. then hey, we're all good there.
Nah. All right, and before we leave, you got to make sure to shout out your partners.
Oh, for sure. Shout out to my boys, my brothers, my partners, the twins, Mike and Devin. My other partners, he said, The Voice, Pook, Black, and you know what I'm saying, my man with the get down, Caleb.
He's nice.
You know what I'm saying, and definitely, the ladies behind the scenes, Ty and Ev, you know what I'm saying, our staff. And, you know what I'm saying, a huge shout out to our boy Junior, Deontay. You know what I'm saying, I want to make sure I give you guys, you know what I'm saying, the credit. These guys are some hard workers. And we have like people that just do a lot for us. And, everybody else that's part of the team that, help us with resources and stuff like that. We appreciate you. We love you. And, you know what I'm saying? We'll see you on the next one.
Nah, I love it, man. Well, Shannon, thank you so much, man, for joining me. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, man, definitely appreciate it.
So listen, guys, make sure to go. All the information for Empire Motors is going to be at the bottom of this section in the notes. Make sure to give them a follow on Instagram. If you have any transportational needs, make sure to reach out to them, give them a call, visit the website, hit them up on Instagram. But make sure that you support local business. Make sure you support them no matter wherever you are. I'm sure they can accommodate you or have someone in your specific area. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in once more to the Majoration Podcast, where we aim to uplift, to inspire, and empower our listeners and everyone that follow us on this journey. This is a podcast about entrepreneurs, business owners, creative minds, those that believe in being blessed and blessing others. So without further ado, have a good one and stay motivated. Peace.